Welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. I am Chris Witt, and with me, as always, is Mr. Adam Schmidt. Adam, how are you today, sir?
I'm fantastic, man. How about yourself?
I'm good. Coming off a win today. The boys got a dub. A tough fought win. A 5-2 10-year-old baseball. Low scoring, good defense. Great pitching. Great pitching today.
I was going to say, how many walks in that game?
I can tell you, but I'm going to guess. So the other team had way more walks than we did. We had 5 runs.
They walked you guys more than
yes.
you walked in.
Yes. We had 5 runs on three hits. So they walked us 7 times. We walked them 4 times. Had a kid who has not pitched yet this year. 15 games, hasn't got in at all. And came in relief in 3 innings, no hit, 1 walk.
Wow.
I think he struck out. He only struck out 2 in 3 innings. So we played a lot of really good defense behind him.
Hard hit balls and played good defense.
There was 2 hard hit balls. The rest of them were just regularly hit balls that we just. You had to make a play. You still got to make a play.
So is this kid in the rotation now?
Yeah, I try to listen. This is tough. It's tough, okay? I have kids every single day.
Can I pitch?
When am I pitching next? Am I pitching? Do I pitch? When do I pitch? When am I pitching? Am I pitching next? Everybody wants to pitch, which is awesome. That's so great. We have 12 kids on the team, and 12 kids can pitch. We probably have 2, 3, 4 that are lower on the rotation, like they won't pitch as much, but they can. I mean, this kid today came out, and it's the first time he pitched all year. And because he has shown in winter ball and everything that he wasn't very consistent, and he's worked really hard since then and came out and threw a gem.
Love that.
So, but that's the thing is that, am I pitching? Can I pitch? I got 12. We got 12 kids here, guys. We have 12 kids that need to pitch. It's not easy. There are some of you that aren't going to pitch as much as others. So it might be 3 weeks before you see the mound again. But I tried to throw this out there. All right. So if you stay ready, then you don't need to get ready. You know who says that?
I feel like that was Ray Allen or somebody.
Probably. But right now, the one that I told the boys, thinking it would relate to them perfectly, the EST of the WWE, Bianca Belair. No,
okay.
The women's champion, the Raw women's champion. She always says, I stay ready, so I ain't got to get ready.
Yeah.
Love Bianca Belair. Found out none of the kids watch WWE. Not a single 10-year-old that watches wrestling. I watch it when I'm out of town. Every Monday, I'm flipping back and forth between whatever game is on and Raw. That's what I do when I'm out of town on Mondays. And I just got made look a fool with all these 10-year-olds.
Well, your son watches it, right?
I'm out of town on Mondays. So he, no.
Maybe not as much.
No, he used to watch it a little bit more, but no.
Well, I know, I don't know. People have been saying that, I think, but shout out Fresh Princess of Bel-Air or whatever her name was.
Yeah. Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
She's bad. She's bad, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking stout. Like, that girl she bench press you over her head 5 times and then throw you on the canvas.
Wow. It seems like women's like the women have, they're wrestlers now just as much as the guys.
100%. The women's division is wrestling now. It's not like it used to be. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, Ric
Sable and Jack.
No. Ric Flair's daughter, Charlotte Flair.
Okay, I've heard of her.
Legit. Like, she looks better than most of the men out there. Sells it better than anybody.
Does she have an enormous rib cage and hot dog skin?
No, she doesn't.
Okay.
She doesn't at all. No, but she does the figure 4 leg lock.
Okay.
And then she puts it into the figure 8.
Does she do the whoop and the strut and all that?
She does. She's got the outfits when she walks in.
Okay.
But she doesn't do all that.
Good.
Yeah.
I like that.
But she puts you in the figure four, and then she does, I think they call it a bridge. Where they put their hands behind them and then like she stands up out of it with her hands on the ground. I don't know how to explain that. A bridge, right?
Yeah.
While she's in the figure, while she has somebody in the figure four. Pretty slick. Pretty slick. That's the figure. That's the figure eight.
Figure eight.
That's what it's called. The figure eight. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because she does the bridge on the
I
figure
guess
four.
double it up, bud. You know what I mean? It's the figure four. Let's double it up.
Okay. Yeah. I like it.
Once again, I feel like you're laughing at me for watching wrestling.
No, I
love
wrestling. Don't know anymore.
I love it. I watch it constantly. I still watch it to this day. I enjoy it. The draft is getting ready to come. Starting on Friday, where they draft people to the SmackDown roster or the Raw roster.
Oh,
yeah. So if you got a belt, they just introduced Triple H just introduced a new belt on Raw the other day.
What's this one?
This is a new heavyweight championship belt, but because Roman Reigns has both of whatever belts he has, the Raw and the SmackDown, but he only fights like once every 2 months. So he said whoever gets this belt is gonna fight almost every week. So
the more belts you introduce, the less championships mean, I feel like.
But there's still not a lot of belts. I mean, there's probably 3 belts. There's tag team, there's universal, and then there's heavyweight. I think that's it.
Is universal the
and then there's the United States. Universal is what Roman Reigns has. Then there's the United States champion.
So is one of those what used to be called the Intercontinental?
Yeah, I think that's the Universal champion.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I picture Ultimate Warrior when I think of Intercontinental champion.
Yes. That's a big one. I mean, it's a huge, big belt. That's the second best belt you can get.
But even when we were still watching back in the day, they had the Hardcore Championship, which was always Mankind or Hardcore Holly.
And that kind of came out when they made the purchase of ECW. When ECW was bought, they came out with that Hardcore belt to keep the Hardcore thing going. That's gone. You know what else was big for a long time was the 24/7 belt.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
24/7. You get pinned anywhere 24/7. If you got the 24/7 belt, you could be sleeping in your hotel room and somebody sneaks in and pins you, and they've got the belt now, and it's gone. Like you 24/7. You have to defend the belt. Funniest thing in the entire world. The people that were going after it was always a big joke. It was always funny. I haven't seen anybody really going after the 24/7 belt. There's a guy, R-Truth has the record. He's had it like 47 times or something like that. And that's not even a joke. Every time he gets beat, he turns around and gets it like 5 minutes later. But I haven't seen the 24/7 belt in a while. I think they may have retired the 24/7 belt.
Huh. Yeah. Some concepts stick and some they're like,
this isn't working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right. Well, I feel much more educated than I was 10 minutes ago about the WWE.
You want to we talk wrestling any day of the week. I mean, I'm talking like old school and new school. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I can only do old school. I have very little knowledge of that. Every time I see a commercial or something or some advertisement with somebody, I'm like, another guy I've never heard of. That's apparently a huge star now.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest stars now, you got Seth Rollins. You know who Seth Rollins is?
I can't picture him right now, but I know I've seen him plenty of times.
Seth Rollins is big. I mean, obviously Roman Reigns is the man. Bobby Lashley, UFC fighter.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley is a specimen.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. Speaking of UFC, Brock Lesnar is still big. Brock Lesnar still in there.
I saw that.
He's still big. There's a
strongly dislike that guy.
There's a college basketball player who's like 7'4". His name is Umas in WWE. I don't know what his name was when he played basketball, but he's a Nigerian guy, or they make him out to be Nigerian. He doesn't talk a lot, but he's 7'4". He's a monster. He's getting kind of bigger and bigger. Yeah, I mean, there's a few of them out. Rey Mysterio is still fighting his son now.
I think I heard that recently.
Him and Dominic just got into it, and Ray didn't want to beat his boy up, but his boy was being a butthead. So you got to do what you got to do.
Huh.
You got to put a smackdown on.
Game of spanking, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's exactly right. The Judgment Day. There's a bunch of them, dude. It's good. It's good stuff. And then AEW wrestling. I think it's AEW. That Sting is still wrestling. Sting is
commercial.
still big in AEW. Chris Jericho is still wrestling in AEW.
That's the senior circuit.
That's like, you remember when Ric Flair started getting flabby titties?
Yeah.
Like in 1990?
Yeah.
Yeah. Chris Jericho is that guy now. Sting doesn't take a shirt off. Sting don't take a shirt. He's smart. He's smart. Chris Jericho still wrestles without a shirt on. He got them Ric Flair titties going.
Oh man, I'm even when we were, still watching like the early 2000s or whatever. Some of those guys were starting to get like that back then.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the older guys were still around a little bit. That was and those guys are still. Some of those guys are still going, huh? Sheesh.
There you go. Hey, Adam, we didn't plan on talking WWE,
No.
but let's go ahead and jump into what we always do to start the podcast, which is no longer starting the podcast. Reese's. What did you bring this week for our Reese's candy?
It's getting hard, man.
It's
to find new stuff.
It's getting hard.
I have been seeing though, because 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, whatever it was now, you had to find in another city the Reese's Puffs, the big cups with Reese's
they're
Puffs.
starting to come around now.
Yeah. Now they're to Cincinnati. We're always a little behind. And now there are a few different iterations of that. And I always wonder, like, should we really be trying every the different size, but the same thing we've already tried and that kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm never sure about that, but
if it's not the same thing, then yeah, we should.
And here's the thing. So I have two things because these are miniatures. I'll just spoil that.
All right.
So I wonder though, when they have something in them, in addition to the regular thing, I feel like that could make a difference. The size could make a difference depending on how much is in a bigger one and a smaller one. Mm-hmm. So having said that, we have the miniatures with the pretzels.
Whoa.
And the miniatures with the Reese's Puffs.
Wow, I didn't even know they made the minis with these. This is impressive. I'm excited. Super stoked. What are we starting with here?
We got pretzels here.
All right, let's start with the pretzels. Get you a couple. Here, I'll take the bag. Let's just go ahead and start with this. Let's start with the pretzels. So this is a Reese's mini with the foil wrapper. Okay. Like you would get at Halloween, this small individual, but with the pretzel inside.
And it's the purple on the wrapper and the different yellow is throwing me off on the wrapper.
Yeah, it's a different pretzel. Yeah, it is a little different yellow. Yeah, I totally agree that I don't know what that's all about. But I guess they got to change it up. Adam throws it down. First one in, first bite, first impressions. I can hear the crunch from here. Mm-hmm. What we got?
It's, and I think I remember this from the pretzel, the big cup with the pretzels. I don't really taste the pretzel. I just taste the crunch. I taste
a little bit of salt though. I get a little salt.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I got to go with the second one. Yeah, I didn't get a ton of salt.
I'm a big. So Twix now has a sea salt caramel Twix, and I'm a big fan of that. I like that. I like a little salt in that sweet right there.
Oh, you like salt?
Yeah, I know. Surprising.
No idea.
Right? Surprising on that. Okay, so mini pretzel. Let's go.
Mini pretzel. I got a 9.3.
Yeah, I'm 9.4. Delicious.
Yeah. All right.
Just an extra little crunch on her.
And speaking of that, let's go. Miniatures with the Reese's Puffs.
Very excited about this one.
Yeah.
Oh, and this has got same yellow, but with a dark brown Reese's Puffs emblem.
Okay.
So that'll be I'm excited for this one because I really like the Reese's Puff. I feel like you weren't a big fan of it.
I thought I was. I have to look back.
Maybe you were.
We've done so many of these, I can't remember.
We have. So you're down. First bite's in. Adam Schmidt, First impressions of the Reese's Puffs Mini.
Really kind of similar to the pretzel, I feel like. I mean, you taste the crunch, not as big a crunch.
Not as
on
big a
this one,
crunch. No.
but and there's not a whole lot of
I
different.
like this better because it's not as much. I'm
Okay,
going to go 9.6 on this
9.6.
Uh-huh.
All right.
because it's more of a regular Reese's.
Gotcha.
That's good. I'm having another one of those.
Yeah. You got a whole bag of them there, buddy. Keep munching those all podcast long if you want. I'm going. I think I'm just excuse me, just barely bigger on the pretzel. Going 9.2, just under the 9.3.
Yeah, I like it. All right. Wow. Less than the pretzel.
Both good though.
Okay.
All right.
So Adam,
Mhm.
biggest thing in sports right now is NBA playoffs. I know we lose some listeners when we talk NBA, but this is playoff time. And can we all be honest that playoff basketball is so great?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the biggest thing in sports is playoff basketball besides Stanley Cup playoffs.
And that's going on right now too. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll save that for a little bit later.
Yeah.
But while we get into that, so on Monday, 2 fantastic games. I've not watched a ton of the NBA playoffs. I've kept up with it and seen scores and what's going on. But as I watched Raw on Monday night, I flipped back and forth to TNT. They're one station off. It's not just an easy up one, down one in the hotel room on Monday.
Nice.
So as Triple H comes out and he's talking about the new belt that they're introducing and all this other stuff, I flip out of that. I just want to see the action. Or commercials come for the NBA or in between games. I'm in and out.
Is Raw on USA still?
Yeah.
Is it really?
It is still on USA.
Wow. Okay.
So that being said, unbelievable. Jimmy Butler on Monday went off. He scored 20 in the first half. 52 for the game, 20 in two different halves.
20 in the first
20.
quarter.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant. 20 in the first quarter, and then another 20 in the fourth quarter. 52 for the game. He 56. Sorry, 56. Yeah, that's right. Because 54 was his personal record, and he broke his personal regular season anything record. My favorite part about Jimmy Butler in that game is free throws. I believe he was 14 to 16 or 13. He missed 2 free throws, but it was like 13 to 15 or 14 to 16, something like that.
He shot him well.
And he missed 1 out of 8 in the last 2 minutes of that game. And that's what I love. He played the closer role. He made 2 of the biggest threes. They're losing. And he hits 2 of the biggest threes of the game back to back with less than 3 minutes in the game. And okay, here's my question for you. Here's the question. Giannis Antetokounmpo out the game before that. That morning they say he's going to play. He had a little back injury. It wasn't anything super severe. You could see he was kind of uncomfortable. He was standing up a lot when he was out, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. I just blah, blah, blah it.
That's okay.
Okay. End of the game. Jimmy Butler is everything on offense and guarding Giannis Antetokounmpo on defense. Giannis is not guarding the defensive player, the best defensive player in the league. Giannis Antetokounmpo has got defensive player of the year before. I'm not saying he's the best defender in the league. I'm just saying he's gotten it. He's a great defender. Is not guarding Jimmy Butler at the end of that game.
Yeah, that's the thing. The Bucks have like 3 of the best defenders in the league. I mean, Brooke Lopez was a finalist, I think, for the Defensive Player of the Year. Drew Holiday is one of the best defensive.
Drew Holiday struggled.
Yeah.
Struggled. But when when you got a guy that's that hot, they talk about heat checks all the time. Like, oh, is this going to be a heat check? And they throw up a 3 from half court and miss it every time. Jimmy Butler was hitting those.
I know,
when he was having these heat check moments.
And probably the weakest part of his game might be 3-point shooting.
Yeah. And he was making knocking them down. So that was fun. And then the nightcap in that was the Lakers game. Tried to watch most of that. I started to fall asleep in the fourth quarter. Woke up as the end of the game came up and it went into overtime. And then they took care of business in overtime to go up 3-1 against the Grizzlies in that. Although they just lost today. So now it's 3-2. The Lakers over Grizzlies. Just throwing all those things out there because those are the only games I watched. How do you want to start this playoff stuff?
Let's go right from that. I'm telling you, do not let the Grizzlies win game 6.
No, they cannot win game 6. They cannot. They can't. I mean, you've got Anthony Davis and LeBron James, who Anthony Davis is just not having good games. He's just not playing great basketball. LeBron is doing everything he can to hand this torch over to AD, and it's like AD doesn't even want it.
He's had a couple decent games. He had like 31 and 19 tonight or something like maybe.
So he had a good game tonight. We had baseball tonight and I didn't even listen to it until the fourth quarter.
And I think he's leading the playoffs in block shots per game.
Okay.
He's getting like 4 or 5 block shots a game.
Normal for him. That's what he does. But when he had 13 the other night, 13 points. Mm-hmm. Anthony Davis should be getting you 20 and 10, 20 and 15 every night.
You sound exactly like Shaq.
Is that what he said?
He just said every good big. He's like, you gotta get 20 and 15 every night. Like,
I mean, if you're going to be that, you need to, and you're the leader of the team. LeBron's old. Look, is it Dylan Brooks?
Yeah.
Dylan Brooks, you said it straight up. You're old. How about, okay, let's do this. Let me ask you this question. We're going to go all over the place. Dylan Brooks comes out, calls him old, talking all this stuff to LeBron. LeBron comes out, or the Lakers come out and win game 2. And LeBron doesn't go for 40. He plays his game. Doesn't fall into the trap.
Yeah.
Dylan Brooks doesn't talk to the media. Then they win again on Monday. And LeBron walks up. They got video of him walking up to Dylan Brooks pregame, talking to him. Don't know what was said. Got an idea what was said. Again, Dylan Brooks is like, I think was like 5 of 18 over 2 games or something like that. Just not playing, not being anything on offense, getting kicked out of games on defense, like not being a factor. Doesn't talk to the media. And then blames the media on what they're saying he's the villain. They're making him out to be a villain. But how do you feel about it? Does he need to embrace what he's already started? Or are you okay with him not talking to the media? How do you feel about this? If you're going to be the one that comes out to the media and says all these things, then you lose game 2 and then blame the media for you being a villain. And that's why you got kicked out. And then not talk to him after game 3 or game 4.
Patrick Beverly does the same thing. Draymond Green does the same thing.
Draymond Green talks to the media he's going to talk and he's going to be, he mans up for the stuff.
Yeah.
He talks. I disagree with maybe Patrick Beverly, but not Draymond Green.
I'm only saying, I'm not even talking about talking to the media. I'm just talking about doing the villain thing.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
And not,
but they embrace it. Both of them embrace it. This dude,
I think Dylan Brooks embraces it too.
Then why is he not saying anything about it? And now why all of a sudden is he tight-lipped?
I'm sure it's a combination of being frustrated about losing and because he might be realizing like I'm becoming a distraction now for everybody. We need to.
That doesn't bother Draymond Green.
Right. It doesn't bother him. But I have no idea. I don't know Dylan Brooks or anything like that, but maybe that's it. Maybe he's like, you know what? There's just going to be all these questions about me and LeBron and me trash talking and getting kicked out of games. I don't want to talk about that stuff right now. We're in the middle of a playoff series, and it's I'm going to do what I'm going to do in games, but I don't want it to become this, an even bigger thing now in the media. And so I'm guessing, and then if he made a comment about blaming the media for, showing him as a villain or whatever, then I'm sure that has a factor in it too. He's like, all right, I'm not gonna. I said something about the media, blaming the media or whatever. Now I'm gonna have to face them, and we just lost, and I'm frustrated. Maybe it was best that he didn't. Maybe that was, I don't know, but I I don't know. I mean, it's kind of fun to follow all that stuff, but also I just care a lot more about what happens in the game,
All right, so 8 points, 2 rebounds for Dylan Brooks tonight.
Yeah. I mean, he'll give you a little bit. He's not a huge numbers guy or anything, but he'll play.
I mean, he was scoring 18 a night.
Oh, well, he's more of a defensive player for sure, and he embraces that certainly. And he's the guy that's gonna try to get under your skin, and he's gonna get into little scuffles all the time and that kind of thing.
That's not who he is. He says the media makes him out to be that way.
Well, that's if you watch Dylan Brooks throughout the season,
I don't need the media. Do I?
No, no, that's not the media at all. So I don't know. I mean, all that stuff is going to end soon anyway. And then, but if the Grizzlies,
was that you calling the Lakers?
No, I'm just saying no, because it's game 6 coming up. So in the next few days, that series is going to be over no matter who wins.
Okay.
But in fact, I'm saying if Memphis wins game 6, Memphis is going to win the series.
Wow.
Because it's going to go back to game 7 is going to be in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
Not a guarantee or anything like that, but I don't know. Don't let
them
back
they do
in it.
They're not doing the 2-2-1-1 thing. Are they still doing that? 2-2-1-1-1?
Yeah.
Not 2-3-2.
Right.
2-2-1-1-1.
That's right.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, game 6 will be in LA, and game 7 would be in Memphis.
Yeah. You got to do it. You got to take care of business in LA
for sure.
Got to take care of business.
Yeah.
And plus that's damn near cross country flight for these guys. I mean, Memphis is in the West, but their time zone is Central.
Yeah.
So, and they're not far from the East.
Right.
When it comes to that. So
that's right.
Anyway, that's besides the point. All right. So next up, what do you
got? Let's go. So that Bucks Heat, you mentioned Jimmy Butler and Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
Miami was surprisingly up 3-1, but Giannis played like 11 minutes in game 1 and he missed the next 2 games. So game 4 was his first game back.
Yep.
He's barely played at all in this series because of his injury. But
third quarter right now, and the Bucks are up by 16.
Yeah. Just a few minutes ago, it was like a 3-point game.
Yeah.
So
this is the same thing that happened at the end of the third quarter in the Lakers game.
Yeah.
It was a 5-point game, and next thing you know, it was a 20-point game.
Yeah. So the Bucks, if they hold on, long way to go, whole another quarter here. But if the Bucks hang on, they make that 3-2, and that would go game
back
6
to Miami.
Yeah, game 6 would be in Miami. So Miami will have another chance to close the series out. If they don't come back in this one, and be able to do that at home. And Miami's been, especially missing Tyler Hero.
Yeah,
they've been good the last few games. I mean, they've been really good in this series. If it's going to take Jimmy Butler scoring 56, though, don't count on that.
No, again, Butler's he's going to drop 35. I could see him dropping 35 or even 40 maybe, because he's going to demand attention and he'll force it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
They've had.
I still got the Bucks. I even being down 3-1, and they're up 16 points right now going into the fourth quarter. I like the Bucks in this game. Put them down 1 game. I still think the Bucks are a better team.
I do too.
But it's the Heat, man. The Heat do what they do. They're really good defensively. They've got a couple guys that can score. They have one absolute superstar, especially in playoff time. So who knows?
And I mean, I don't know if Eric Spoelstra gets enough credit.
I feel like he's been getting way more credit over the past like 3-4 years than the time that when he first started and he was with D Wade and LeBron and all that, and it was his first year in Miami, and it was like, well, it's just the team he has, but I feel like the last 3-4 years he's starting to get the reputation in the league and in the media as one of the top 3 coaches in the NBA.
I think he's proven it. Yeah,
that's it. That's the whole thing. I mean, he was a shot away from being in the NBA finals. He was in the NBA finals again. What was it, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? When was that? Who was it last year?
Was that the bubble? Was it, did the Lakers beat the Heat?
That might have been the Heat in the bubble. Yeah, maybe that was it.
So yeah, but he's taken another team post LeBron era to the finals, and they've been a good team. They've been a solid team, pretty much every year, and one of the best defensive teams always too.
Always.
Speaking of defensive teams, defensive coaches, the New York Knicks have won a playoff series.
4 games. They won a playoff series as the 5 seed over the 4 seed Cleveland Cavaliers, who brought in Donovan Mitchell this year, and were playing great basketball. I mean, they were really good. And this team, the joke is New York fans are like treating this like they just won the finals, right?
Yeah.
They haven't done anything in 20 years. So I'm happy for New York, because when the Knicks are good, the NBA is good. It's just like it's or not the NBA is. Well, how do you say it? It's like when the Yankees are good, that's a good thing for Major League Baseball, because you love or hate the Yankees, right? When the Dodgers are good, you love or hate these big teams are good, then it makes that brand better because people want to watch it. Not necessarily just to see them win, but maybe also to see them lose. So a big brand like the Knicks, when they're winning, that's a good thing for basketball.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exciting for Knicks fans for sure. I was wrong about this one. I picked the Cavs in this series. I really thought they would beat them. And then I did see in tonight's game, Julius Randle left with an injury. So we'll see what that looks like in the next few days and going into the next round. Let's go to I think the only series that's 2-2 now. This Kings Warriors series is becoming really good.
Well, the joke was everybody wanted to be the 6th seed so they could play the Kings, who were the 2 seed. That was the joke going into the playoffs. And I say joke, but it almost seemed like it was real. Like the Lakers wanted it. Golden State wanted to sit. All these teams wanted to be the 6th seed so they could play a unproven Sacramento Kings team.
That's right.
And this Sacramento Kings team, we talked about it last week. They are quiet. They are just all around good. They've got great team. They've got a great bench. They've got a ton of Kentucky kids.
Yeah.
But De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk and these guys they play well together. And they are currently tied. I believe they're beating right now. Are they winning right now?
Golden State's up 1.
They're up 1. So it's basically a tie game right now. Is it halftime? Getting into halftime?
Start of the third quarter.
Start of the third quarter. So interested to see how this game goes. But this Kings team is good, dude. Like,
yeah,
people don't give them credit. They're number 2 in the West for a reason.
Yeah,
because they're good.
Yep. And they went up 2-0 in this series, and then the Warriors came back and tied it. And that's very exciting because I'm rooting like heck for the Warriors. I want to see one last, what feels like probably one last run if this Warriors team does make a run to the finals again.
And this is a dynasty. Can we say that this is a dynasty?
Easily.
I mean, people talk about dynasties all the time, and you know, I don't know how. I don't think it's loosely used like some words are. Like GOAT is kind of loosely used. Dynasty. I mean, this team is a dynasty. I mean, 10 years now.
Yeah,
they've 10
won
years,
4 championships. They've been to the finals 10 years,
5 times, 6 times in 10 years,
6 times, or
6
whatever.
times, 5 or 6 times in 10 years. I mean, that's a dynasty.
Yep.
And it's the same big three, right? Did they have KD for a couple years? Sure. But it's Draymond, it's Clay, and it's Steph.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll tell you, it was really cool. I don't know if it was after the last game or in between days or whatever. I think it might have been after last game. The media asked Clay in the press conference after the game something about Steph, and he like spoke for a couple minutes about Steph, like how much he means to him and how much he's so grateful that he gets to watch Steph Curry every day, the way he works and prepares and what kind of guy he is and what a family guy he is. It was so cool to listen. Like he was like really articulate about how impressed he is with Steph.
I
And
got
after all these years, especially.
still feeling that way. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
I think it's so cool.
I hope to God that Steph Curry is as good a person as he puts off.
Mhm.
And it like the family guy. I mean, there's been a running joke that him and his wife had an open marriage and all this stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I don't care. But I hope to God with the way he is with his kids.
Awesome.
And with his wife as well. Like she's involved in commercials and stuff like that with him. I hope to God that dude is really as cool and good.
Me too.
Because when like good people that are that good and try, like it doesn't happen a lot because you got to have a certain mindset to be a killer in a game.
Yeah.
Right. And that usually makes you kind of a D-bag outside of the game.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, he was that during the game.
During Kobe
practice.
Bryant wasn't exactly
Kobe
a
Bryant.
saint.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Their teammates
the
didn't
court.
like them.
Their teammates didn't like them. Off the court, they had issues. Like there's plenty of stuff. So I don't know. I hope to God that that's one of those good stories where it's like, this dude's just the greatest shooter to ever live.
Mhm.
And he's also a great person.
Yeah. He's just fun to watch. And the likable guys you like to root for them even harder because they're likable people.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I just thought that was really cool to listen to Clay talk about that. It's going to be, I mean, we might finish this podcast before that game's over, but game 5, when a series is tied 2-2, there's nothing better.
It's a huge game. I mean, it's not must win, but it feels must win.
Yeah. Yep. Real quick, we'll go. Sixers closed it out, swept the Nets. They move on.
We both thought that would happen pretty easy.
Yeah. So now they're waiting to see who. And so let's go to Celtics Hawks. Celtics are up 3-2, but the Hawks have already extended this series once.
Unbelievable, right? Like this was thought to be over after game 2.
Mm-hmm.
And they continue to fight back. And what's your boy's name for the Hawks?
Trae Young.
Trae Young with his freezing cold thing. I don't get it. Doesn't make any sense to me. But dude's always cold and shivering and warming himself up.
Like ice water in his veins, I think, or something like that.
Can someone please introduce Trae Young? He should be on a Hims commercial, right? It doesn't Hims do hair stuff. Yeah. I mean, Hims does all kinds of stuff. They need to sign this dude up, get him a full head of hair, and then put him on Hims commercials.
Whatever he does to his hair makes it look like he has a lot, unless you see it at certain angles.
None.
Yeah.
I don't understand what he's doing with his hair. We've talked about this before.
He's not serious.
Don't get it. Don't stop. Just stop doing whatever you're doing is not working. Don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I can't take it. That's the ugliest thing in the world. He looks like a rat. I love his game. I shouldn't say I love it. I like his game. I'm not a big fan of chucking up shots from the logo and stuff like that when you're already 0 for 5. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a big fan of that. But the dude's a great basketball player. He's got great handles. He does everything. He's really good.
Yeah. So that Celtics Hawks, Celtics are up. So the Celtics have a chance to close it out in game 6. but the Sixers await that series. So if the Hawks win game 6, that extends that even further, gives Joel Embiid and whoever else is ailing from nagging injuries on the Sixers a chance to heal a little bit more. Because Embiid did miss a game in that series. And he's always banged up. So good chance for him to get. So then nice and easy, real quick. Nuggets closed out the Timberwolves and the Suns closed out the Clippers. So now Nuggets Suns is our first.
Is this the Suns championship to lose?
I don't know, because I don't know about that anymore. Because Denver swept. No, Timberwolves won a game, but they were the Nuggets are the 1 seed. They won that series in 5. I think they're good enough to probably beat Phoenix, but Phoenix is good enough to beat anybody.
They've got, but Phoenix's bench. Oh, I wish I remembered. I thought I heard something today.
Right?
Yeah, they've scored the least amount of points in a first round or in any playoff series in history. The least amount of points by a bench. That's
the price you pay for Kevin Durant.
I guess so. But you got and Devin Booker, who might be playing better than Kevin Durant right now.
Yeah, he's putting up big numbers, and then they have 71 between the two of them yesterday or something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, by asking that question, do you feel really confident that the Suns are going to beat the Nuggets?
I'm going to tell you right now, it's an injury. The Suns are an injury away from being terrible.
The Suns are.
They're one injury away from not being a good team. Right? I mean, they don't have a bench already.
Oh,
KD or Devin Booker get hurt.
Yeah, I mean,
they still have Booker and Paul. They still have somebody and Paul, or if Paul gets hurt, but you're already doing it with no bench now, and now you're down one more star player. Who's going to take those minutes, and how good are those minutes going to be used?
I feel like they have a better chance if one of those guys gets hurt than the Nuggets do if Jokic got hurt.
Oh, that's
for sure.
Yeah, 100%. That's I agree with that, because
each team would still have a star.
Jokic literally walks out, drops 30, 15, and 12.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing.
Mm-hmm. It's so amazing to watch that guy play. Just the way he moves or barely moves, but he's like way more athletic than he looks like, or he's just he's smarter than everybody else, or something.
Athletic. He's hiding his athleticism.
I think maybe he's really good coordination, like hand-eye coordination or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I can watch the guy pass the ball all day long. I don't know what I think about yet in that series. I think Phoenix will probably be the favorite. I would say maybe going in, although I don't know, just seed wise, maybe they won't be through Vegas.
Whoever wins that, are they in the finals? Oh, maybe not.
They're in the Western Conference Finals if they win that. But
I'm saying, would they? Yeah, I was going to say, are they the best team in the West? But the Lakers obviously are.
Well, yeah, if the Lakers win the first round series, I mean, they could maybe, but then they got to beat either the Warriors or Kings.
It's 2 games in a row that the Lakers have not had good shooting nights. I mean, they're held under 100 points. I mean, they won on Monday, but I mean, they scored 112 in overtime. Like they're not scoring the way they should.
Yeah.
And you play a team like the Suns, you're going to have to score.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
if you're not shooting, you're done.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. I think, I mean, we've gotten through all the first round series. I don't know what to think yet about Nuggets Suns in the second round. So maybe we'll talk more about that next week when the rest of the series, the first round series, are finished. We'll cover the second round, the conference semifinals, and I don't know. That's all I've got on that stuff. Unless you've got anything else for NBA playoffs.
I have nothing for the NBA playoffs left. No, I think we're good, bud.
Then we could go on to Mount Rushmore, right?
Let's go to the Mount Rushmore. There has been 52 number one overall picks in the NFL draft. 52. From those 52 people, Adam, you have to pick your top 4.
Yeah.
Are you prepared to do so?
I am. I did what I've been doing mostly lately, and picking the 3 and then leaving the last one to pick.
Oh, even better. I like that. Okay.
On the
All
spot.
right. All right. So, Adam Schmidt, get us started. Who is your Mount Rushmore of number one overall picks?
I'm going to start with one of my favorite athletes to ever live.
Okay.
In 1986, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, not Big Daddy Dan Wilkerson?
It's not him.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's not him, but I did see his name on the list and had a little chuckle. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers selected Bo Jackson out of Auburn.
Yes. Yes.
And
I love that. And Bo said, nope, I'm going to stay in college.
Yeah. And then he went on to play for the Raiders, and the Bengals ended his athletic career basically after that. But Bo Jackson was just so exciting in the 90s to watch run for 120 yards on Sunday, and hit a 500-foot home run
the
a
next
week later or whatever.
Exactly.
So I'm going Bo Jackson. Next one, I'm going with probably my favorite quarterback ever in the NFL.
Ooh.
In 1998, the Indianapolis Colts selected Peyton Manning.
So I was just listening to an interview with Ryan Leaf the other day.
My other favorite quarterback.
Ryan Leaf is a fun is a fun guy to hear talk. Ryan Leaf was a 50-50 shot of being an Indianapolis Colt.
Mm-hmm.
There were people in the Colts organization that wanted Ryan Leaf. And Ryan Leaf said it doesn't matter who I would have played for, the same thing would have happened. He said that he was anyway, that's besides the point. So yes, there you go. Cool. I like it.
Peyton Manning. Number 3, I'm going with an all-time great lineman.
Okay.
Orlando Pace.
Oh, I love me some Orlando Pace.
1997 number 1 overall pick to the Rams out of the Ohio State University. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say about it.
Yep. There you
go. Number 4. Let me tell you that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys written down.
Can I ask you, is O.J. Simpson on the list?
Orenthal James Simpson is on the list.
Wow. Okay. Juice box.
He's on the list.
Like
I'll tell you, along with Troy Aikman, John Elway, Earl Campbell, Terry Bradshaw, and Bruce Smith.
Okay.
Those are the guys that I've
No Ed Too Tall Jones. No Eli Manning. No Matt Stafford. Okay.
Didn't put him on there. Thought about Cam Newton. Nope.
Andrew Luck.
No,
Drew Bledsoe.
No.
Okay. Jim Plunkett.
No.
Carson Palmer.
The only other guy I thought of was Paul Hornung.
That's a great one. Paul Hornung was a ridiculous athlete.
Yeah, I feel like especially at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I'm going with my 4th Mount Rushmore. I'm gonna take John Elway.
Taking John Elway.
I'm taking John Elway. Won a couple of chips.
I like it.
And was drafted by the Colts in '83.
That's exactly right.
Did not play for them.
Traded off. Yep, kind of like Eli Manning.
Yeah.
All right, so I like that. That sounds good. I am going to so name your 4 again. Who are they?
Peyton Manning, Orlando Pace, Bo Jackson, John Elway.
I like it. All right, so I'm putting number 1 on mine. Probably somebody that's probably almost last on the actual list. Kajana Carter. Kajana Carter is my favorite ever number 1 overall pick. I really loved Kajana Carter. Obviously,
you had a jersey, didn't you?
I did. We've told the story before. I had a jersey and I put duct tape on the back of it and just kept writing guys' name
Rudy Johnson,
number 32,
everybody.
Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, just one after the other. So Corey Dillon was 28, I believe. But yeah, most of them are 30. Like the Bengals have had a 32 forever. So Kijana Carter, yes. Our cousin Eric was on the podcast. Penn State guy, played ball at Penn State Altoona, and and actually has Rudy Johnson in it. Rudy Johnson. That's not Kijana Carter. Rudy Johnson is another 32 though that I had on that jersey. Has Kijana Carter's number now. Like Kijana Carter sells cleaning supplies to him at Penn State University. So there you go. So I'm going Kijana Carter number 1. I'm not putting Bo Jackson on there.
Okay.
Because Bo Jackson never played didn't play the year he got drafted. I'm not, I don't know how I feel about that.
I got you.
Peyton Manning for sure. Peyton Manning's got to be there, right? Peyton Manning's on there for me. You got, I mean, there's a lot of good ones, man. Troy Aikman, and you said John Elway. Bruce Smith was a number 1 overall pick. I'm trying to go against the grain here, though. I want to go a little against the grain.
Yeah. You're gonna pick Terry Bradshaw just because he has the same haircut as Hulk Hogan.
I'm not taking Terry Bradshaw. That is for sure.
All
right. So I'm not going Big Daddy Dan Wilkerson. Although when the Bengals took him with the number 1 overall pick, he was on Sports Illustrated and all kinds of stuff. I was pretty pumped up. Like I thought this dude was going to be legit greatest defensive lineman to ever walk the face of the earth.
Yeah. Didn't turn out that way.
Again, didn't turn out that way. But I will say Carson Palmer. Yeah. Carson Palmer was phenomenal for the Bengals and took us took the Bengals to a level we hadn't been at in 20 years. Took us to the playoffs. The way he left, sure, kind of sucked, but
I didn't blame him either.
No, nobody. I don't think anybody really ever actually blamed him. Like nobody was ever really upset. Number 3, I'm going with none other than the dog fighter himself, Michael Vick.
I thought about putting him on.
Love Michael Vick. Michael Vick, the left-handed missiles that would come out of his shoulder were on the run, throw absolute darts left-handed. Love that. Yeah. Mike Vick is going to be number 3 for me. And so I'm with you. The last one's kind of tough, right? Like there's just a whole lot of people that are kind of the same. So I really thought Jameis Winston was going to be the real deal. I talk about it all the time when I have NFL, when I'm in drafts, like I always want to take Jameis Winston is my second quarterback because I still believe there's a little something there that has to come out and has to be really good. But in the end, I'm gonna have to go with old horse mouth, John Elway.
Old horse mouth.
I mean, come on, dude's got the biggest set of teeth you ever seen in your life.
Yeah, and he played for a team whose mascot was a horse.
Yeah, I mean, it fit in perfectly.
Yeah.
So I'll go old horse mouth.
All right, good job. Let me see. I'm guessing that Leanne Morgan's favorite number 1 overall pick is whomever the Tennessee Titans have ever selected number 1.
Have the Tennessee Titans ever taken a number 1 pick?
I don't know that.
Yeah, it's tough to say. Steve McNair? No, I'm just kidding.
Leanne Morgan.
Leanne Morgan, Tennessee girl. That's who our comedy special is this week. I'm Every Woman was the name of it. I'll let you go first. Let's talk out Leanne Morgan. Let's talk it out together. Talk it out together.
Okay. When she came, first impressions, just like Reese's.
Yeah.
First impressions when she came out, or I saw her her the thumbnail or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And then she came out. I'm like, I don't know. I don't remember seeing this lady do stand up before.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I feel like maybe I've heard the name somewhere or
That's what I
something,
was
but
thinking.
yeah. But so anyway, she came out and
That's-
I'm like, okay. I immediately, I'm like, okay, maybe this is going to be okay. And then she started talking and I'm like, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get through this.
In the beginning, I literally thought this might be the word. Like this, I don't know that this lady's ever done stand-up before. That's what I was thinking. I don't know that, how did she get a Netflix special? I don't know that she's ever done this before. It got better.
It definitely got better.
It got better.
Her accent went from oh geez, I'm gonna have to listen to this for an hour to this is hilarious. I love
she got some Theo Von stuff going, right? Here's my thing that I love about thick accents like that, like smart people with deep South accents. I like that. She seems like she's smart because they say things and it's like, oh, she's smarter than she sounds.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Like they've got their regular twang and the words they use, but they're a little smarter than they sound. That was fun for me.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Yeah. I mean, some of those words. Oh my goodness. I mean, the thickest twang.
And then she would say that word 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
With that twang. Ones, yuns, whatever.
Y'all, just everything's y'all
darlings, little darling. Oh, I'm telling you, these little darlings.
Everything was little
darlings,
my little dad,
my little mammy, my little mammy, mommy, mama, my little mama, little mama, little daddy.
She was but you're 100% on the money with it got better. I mean, by the end of this thing, I'm like, man, this was pretty good.
She did.
She's definitely funnier than I thought she was going to be for sure. And she really did a pretty good job. And some of it wasn't even necessarily like that she wrote great jokes, but she just used the right words in the right spots.
Yeah,
along
timing.
Yeah,
that's the timing, right? It didn't have to be great jokes. It was timing with the words she used with that draw. And she was in Lexington, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like she was in New York and people were laughing at her accent. She's in Lexington, Kentucky. Like that accent, I know like that accent is all over Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah. She it was funny. It was funny to hear her. She would like use misdirection sometimes too, I feel like.
Oh yeah.
That's really good. I mean, that's great because she did that along with the accent, and it was like that made whatever her punchline was funnier.
And it made it I like the every woman, like literally it was like the every woman jokes. It was jokes that every middle-aged woman, she's just saying everything every middle-aged woman's probably thinking. You know what I mean?
And you know what? She talked about like pretty much everything, like intimate stuff, but she wasn't dirty. Like
Not
most of the comedians we watch, especially a lot of the female comedians now are dirtier than a lot of the male comedians.
Absolutely.
Now. And she really did a good job of. I have more and more of an appreciation for really good comics who are also clean now.
Yeah.
And I also like the Big J Okersons of the world and stuff. Absolutely. I adore those guys. But the Leanne Morgan, the way she did it, the Nate Bargatze.
Nate Bargatze. I was exactly one thing. Nate Bargatze, like that stuff, to be that funny, and it really emphasizes timing. It emphasizes joke telling because you don't have the shock factor in dropping 5 F-bombs in a row or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. So I definitely appreciated that about it too. I don't know. I mean, I went 3.8 on this.
Wow.
That might even be a little low.
That's good. That's good. I don't know that it's low. I don't think that the whole thing was, like I said, in the beginning, it was kind of rough. She seemed a little nervous in the beginning.
I'm sure.
She, just all the jokes I thought were really good. I went 3.6.
Okay, we're right there.
We're close, and now you're making me think that maybe even mine was low. But I don't know. I don't feel like it was a 4. Like I was snickering and I kind of was like it was, throughout it. But you to get a 4, I got to be pretty much consistently laughing.
Yeah, I was appreciating it more and more as it went on. I wasn't necessarily laughing hard or anything, but
and a lot of the stories, like for me as a married man of 15 years with 3 kids, a lot of it was kind of fun for me, right? Because she's telling stories about her kids with little babies and her growing up, being a stay-at-home mom with these babies and oh my God, the McDonald's story, that one I was laughing hard at.
Yeah.
My kids love the balls, and all of a sudden they just be playing around and dirty diaper just float on by. Like I found a chicken nugget. Oh. That was so great. One of them pooped in the tube. Pooped in the tube.
She had to go on up and get it.
I had to go on up and get it.
Oh,
so good. Man. Never said she cleaned the tube.
I know. I noticed that.
I know you did.
She grabbed her baby up.
I ain't cleaning that poopy tube. That's what they get paid for.
Man. And they sure don't.
No,
Yeah. So, I mean, we both rated it. Mm-hmm. There it is. Good job, Leanne Morgan. Definitely. I was pleasantly surprised by the end of that.
By the end of it, Hunter, I totally agree with that. In the beginning, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be an hour lost. This is gonna be an hour of my day lost.
I thought this might be one of those things that is specifically for middle-aged to older white women from the South.
Yeah, like that's it. Like they're the only people that would get anything.
And a lot of it, no, it was, but she did a good job of not making it so like that. It's totally unrelatable to everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I totally agree. Great job. I think it's great. I suggest watching it. Get through the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and you'll be fine.
Yeah,
you'll be fine.
Yep. All right. I mean, we've got to pick a couple things for next week.
Perimenopausal. I can't remember what that word was.
Yeah.
But
I thought she meant premenopausal.
That's what I kept thinking, but she said the same thing 5 times.
Yeah. And it even came up on the
because you look because sometimes that deep Southern accent is just as bad as being from England. I need that closed captioning on the bottom.
Absolutely. It is kind of a similar accent.
I put closed captioning on almost everything I watch now.
I think I turned it on for something.
All you gotta do is turn it off one thing and never goes away.
Yeah. Yep. I've never turned it back off.
Yep.
All right. We've got Mount Rushmore and comedy for next week.
Yep. All right. So I already know what you are choosing for. Okay. I mean, am I wrong? I mean,
probably not.
Yeah. I mean, after I got done watching this special, I went, oh, all right, that's Adams. Okay, I know what we're doing for comedy.
Yep.
It's going to be on Netflix.
Yep.
I'll let you say that while I contemplate what the Mount Rushmore is going to be.
His first special, one of the greats, one of the current greats. First special since going to rehab twice, since the pandemic, since becoming a father for the first time, since getting divorced. A lot has happened in this guy's life over the last few years.
Wait a minute. He didn't just have a special a year and a half, 2 years, right after because remember there was a big, one of the jokes was about him breaking up with his drug dealer and his drug dealer finding out that his drug dealer was only selling him drugs because his drug dealer was only selling him drugs because he didn't want him to get drugs from bad people. Like he said, I'm not even a drug dealer. I was just trying to help you so you didn't die getting some. There was
maybe now
there was he had a special since he went into rehab.
Okay.
Maybe not since the divorce. I mean, the divorce was basically right when he got out of rehab. It was basically right as it. I think he had a special right out of rehab.
Okay.
I think we did it on the show.
I'm sure we did. If you had one, I'm sure we did.
Because I thought the play or the whatever that thing was terrible.
Oh, are you talking about Oh Hello?
Yeah, that was terrible. But then he had an actual special.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Oh Hello with what's the other guy's name?
You did not Nick Kroll. You did
Nick
not
Kroll.
like that.
No,
Yeah.
that was
I watched it
horrible.
3 times.
I'm so
And
happy.
they did a podcast together. I listened to every episode through
That's
twice.
great. That was so bad. It was so bad. I like John Mulaney. Nick Kroll can get on my nerves a little bit, but
That's right.
I like John Mulaney, but that was terrible. That was terrible.
John Mulaney was also one of the best live stand-up shows I've been to. I saw him at the Taft Theater years ago and was really, really good. He had a big long chunk about Willy Wonka, some holes in that movie and stuff.
Yeah.
It was really funny. My favorite movie. But
he does a joke about when I was young, I greatly was overly scared of quicksand. Like,
yeah.
I really thought quicksand was going to be something.
Oh, that might have been on that last special.
I think it was.
Okay.
I think it was. It was on the same special as the drug. I'm pretty sure it was.
So apparently this, because he was just on a podcast I listened to the other day, and this sounds like he talks a lot more about the drug stuff and his experience with that and all the stuff that's been going on in his life. So I'm hoping it doesn't turn out to be like, and I'll tell you what, you thought Oh Hello was bad. Not that it was really bad, but he did this like sort of like variety show or something a while ago on Netflix too. And he worked with like, he had kids on it and they did songs and stuff. I think you wouldn't like that because I didn't love it. And I was like biased toward liking it because it's John Mulaney. So anyway, hopefully this gets back to mostly pure stand-up, and he's going to talk about his experience with all the rehab stuff and everything. It's called Baby J. John Mulaney on Netflix just came out.
Very excited. I'm excited about this. I don't not like John Mulaney. I like John Mulaney. I think he's really funny. His joke telling is a little different than almost anybody right now. Like his over the topness. Is that the right way to say it? I don't know if it's over the top, but just the way he delivers jokes is different than anybody else. The way it comes out is different. Anyway, I do like John Mulaney. Now I have to say what our Mount Rushmore is going to be.
Yeah.
Adam, I've been thinking about this for years now.
Okay.
Adam. It is Adam, right?
It's Adam.
Okay.
Yeah, you're pronouncing that correct.
Thank you. I had to try one time. My dad does that to me now, just so you know. Yeah. Dad will be talking to me and go, Chris, right? It is Chris, right? Yeah. He does that. He thought that was really good. That being said, as I turn around and I look around the room, I've been thinking about this for years. And I think what we're going to do for a Mount Rushmore is Mount Rushmore of female names.
Oh, okay. Wow.
That's rough.
That's a rough one. Not what I was expecting.
No, that's not what I was expecting either. But
female names.
That's tough. Now we got to talk about this now, because like my 2 girls, both of their names are can be used for either sex. I have a Carter and a Finley.
Yeah.
There are many Carter boys, many Carter girls, many Finley boys, many Finley girls. Yeah. So this may be bad. This may not work. How about this? Let's change it. I'm going to stay with names, but I'm going to change it.
Okay.
Mount Rushmore of your favorite names of professional athletes. Like Coco Crisp.
Okay. So, I mean, but not nicknames. Does it have to be their real name?
I want whatever's on their card. Whatever's on their baseball card.
Okay.
Right. I mean, you got, Ozzie Smith. That's pretty basic, right? That wouldn't be on mine. Coco Crisp. Maybe that gets there. Okay. Milton Bradley.
I was gonna say Milton Bradley.
Great name.
Yeah.
Something like that. Mm-hmm. So let's go professional, just professional athletes' names.
I like it. That's good.
That was
That's
rough.
good.
Okay.
Been thinking about that for years. Now, huh?
It's been a year. It's
Okay.
been officially a year, and I've narrowed it down. I was going between female names and professional sports names,
I think either one works.
and I think today we narrowed it down to what I want.
Good.
At some point, we're going to do a Mount Rushmore of your favorite month. Maybe we've already done that.
Have we done
actually.
that?
As I say that, that might be something we've already done.
Maybe we've done that.
Yeah.
Huh. All right.
All right. So there you go. So John Mulaney, what's it called on Netflix?
Baby J.
Baby J on Netflix. We've got the Mount Rushmore of professional athletes' names. We'll have more NBA playoffs.
Yep.
Maybe we mix in some baseball. Oh, and by the way, before we go, congratulations to Bobby Nightingale Jr.
Yes.
Gets to go back to his hometown, Minnesota, where he started, and he gets to be a beat writer in Minnesota. Happy for him there.
Yep.
Adam Baum is no longer the beat writer for the Reds. We have, or for the Xavier Musketeers. We officially have 0 beat writers left.
So do you know, like, I think I heard that he was still going to be doing some writing covering Xavier.
Oh, is he?
Like he was going to do strictly stories or something. Like,
I like that better because remember he told us he had a story, or was that Bobby, who said they had kind of a big story coming up, but they didn't want to talk about it. I think that was Bobby.
Bobby did, yeah. But Adams had a few like that too.
Yeah, he's had some really cool big stories about guys that graduated years and years ago, football players, all kinds of weird stuff that he's gotten into. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw that it looked like he was gonna be doing something else, but also still doing some covering Xavier just with like special interest stories.
That's cool. Okay.
But yeah, hopefully we'll have Bobby on at least one more time before he gets going. He said
you've reached out to him.
Yes.
He wants to do it. Bobby's been great to us. Yeah. And you know what? Who's to say we can't get Bobby on while he's in Minnesota?
We can at least have him on again at the end of the season and say, give us some stuff about covering the Twins. How do you what's the differences and likes?
100%. I want to know what the food is like there compared to here. What is I want to know a lot of stuff. I want to keep the relationship going. Bobby was great. He's been so good to us. He's so knowledgeable. He takes the silly questions right along with the real questions.
Always does the Mount Rushmore with us.
He does the Mount Rushmore with us. He's been great. Same with Adam. Very happy for both of them. I'm also very upset with both of them.
Yeah. Shame on you.
That being said, just wanted to throw that out there.
Good. And I almost forgot. I meant to say this when we were talking about comedy. I went to Dave Attell last weekend.
That's right. Oh, we got to talk about Dave Attell. How was it?
So
the whole weekend was jam-packed.
Jam-packed. Dave Attell on Friday at the Funny Bone in Liberty Township, and I think it was the hardest I've ever laughed at a comedy show.
I love that.
I think it's the best. It's the best I think I ever saw. Yeah.
But you were expecting that too. That's the crazy part, is you expected that to be.
I was trying not to over expect.
But you were talking about it on the podcast.
I know. And he was I had 10 minutes into him taking the stage, I had tears pouring down my face. I'm wiping my face and I feel drips of sweat coming off my hair just from laughing. It wasn't hot in the room.
No.
I was laughing so hard. That guy was just, 1,000 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And so clever. Would do like a lot of crowd work, but like a lot of his crowd work is something something about something, some really funny joke with a punchline. Isn't that right, sailor, with with a grandma for a wife or something,
Yeah.
like, and
Yeah.
points at a guy,
Yeah. Yeah.
or just like
Yep.
some off the wall, crazy, really funny thing, and points at somebody and assigns that to that person
Signs
out of
that
nowhere.
monogram.
Or looks at a person and says, this guy looks like something, and does it, and he's right on the money. I mean, he was just so good. His feature, the guy there was like a host, this girl that hosted, and she wasn't too bad. She had a couple pretty funny jokes. But the feature, the middle guy, was really funny too. Like, this guy's gonna headline probably in the not too distant future. I mean, he's really
Name?
funny.
Do we have a name?
I think it was Alex Price, I want to say.
Okay.
I think it was Alex Price. I forgot. I got to look him up, see if he's on social media. But he's 6'9", probably 400 pounds.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's a monster.
He is, and he called him right away. He's like, let's address this right away. I know I'm a monster. I mean, that guy was really funny. And then
I always wonder guys like that. How long until they're 6'9", 220 pounds? Like, you remember Mike and Molly? Do you remember the show Mike and Molly? That dude weighs like,
oh yeah, he lost
bills.
the punch. Billy Gardell. Yeah,
he weighs like 2 bills, maybe.
Yeah,
he might be less than that.
He's lost
a
bunch of
that.
weight.
A lot of people are like that. Like, it's just not.
If he gets big and starts making a lot of money and can hire a trainer,
that's the whole thing.
Yeah. So I mean, that'd be great. Hopefully he would. But that guy was really funny. And then Saturday night, I went to Indianapolis and saw one of my favorite guys, Dan Soder. I was so excited about that too. After the show on Friday night, though, after Attell was so good, I thought, I have a bad feeling tomorrow night's going to be a little bit of a letdown, just because you can't match Dave Attell.
Yeah, and Dan Soder, to me, I feel like Dan Soder could have an off night.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I feel like Dan Soder's great. But he could have an off night.
Sure. Yep.
Did he have an off night?
He's a naturally funny guy, but I've seen, more than anything in the last few years, I've heard him on podcasts, almost every day. And I fell in love with that Dan Soder for sure. Now we did Son of a Gary. We did his last special one here a few years ago or whatever. I've seen his stand-up. I see clips and stuff all the time too. And he's funny as a stand-up comedian. Sometimes his jokes are, aren't like hard hitting, like he is just off the top of his head.
He's very good. I mean, I don't listen to podcasts, but that Bonfire on Sirius Radio, Comedy Central, like, he was really good at that. That was
so
fun.
good.
Yeah.
He did not disappoint. It was better than I expected going in.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
And he was so
great comedy weekend. Now, how was the baptism? Did you drop the baby?
I did not.
Did you hold the baby?
I didn't hold. You
didn't do the holding. So they trusted Amanda to do the holding.
No. So Jen and Doug held her the entire time.
You just kind of stood behind them.
I did get one pretty good roll. So she was great until they had to, like most babies, they had to like dip her almost upside down so that the priest could dump 3 cold things of water on her.
Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
Right.
Yeah.
And as soon as she got, tipped over, a couple of seconds after that, especially as he starts bringing the water up, she starts crying.
They all do.
So as soon as he's done with that, Jen brings her back up, and I had the lady that was helping out the priest handed me a towel right before that.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
The wipe off.
Oh man. So
you got the
wipe
about
it. I'm planning how I'm going to wipe, my technique and everything. Brings her up.
Did you go nose to dome, or did you go dome to nose?
No, I went.
Or did you go cross face?
No, I just went like pat, top of the head pat.
Oh, top of the head pat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Top of the head pat. Okay. Made sure nothing got down, dripped down into the eyes. I even saw like a little drip going behind her ear.
Caught it there because that was going to be a tickle.
Yeah.
That was going to be a tickle cry.
Right. So I just patted around the head.
Nice.
As soon as she came up and I touched that thing to her head, stopped crying immediately.
Man, look at you.
I think it was more.
Was
being
that the
in
Holy
position.
Spirit? Was that the Holy Spirit that
I
took
think
over?
I think the Holy Spirit was working through me and through the towel.
That's what I mean.
Into her head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my favorite question is at those is when they say, how does the question go? Tell me if this question came up. Do you not rescind, what is it, for the devil? Like, do you not like the devil, basically?
Yeah.
Like,
do you reject Satan?
Do you reject Satan?
Something.
Yeah. Do you reject Satan? I mean, come on. Is this a real question? Like,
if he brings weak stuff into the lane, yeah,
I'll reject him all day long. I'll throw that thing right back in and give him the Dikembe finger, right? It's exactly right.
Yeah, he's getting the Dikembe finger for sure.
For sure. For sure.
As a matter of fact, you're supposed to say yes, and I just went like this.
Yeah, do not read.
Yeah. Or I did my yes in Dikembe's accent.
Yes. Oh, that's good. That's the question that always gets me. Like, what? Yeah, of course. Yeah, reject Satan.
Has anyone
ever said no?
Yeah.
And then they go over it beforehand with you. They're like, hey guys, so this is the question, and we're just gonna say yes to this. We're gonna say, yeah, I would. I feel like the parents wouldn't have done a good job if they asked somebody to be the godparent that doesn't reject Satan. Like, that doesn't roll circles in my boat.
I said yes as I covered up my star tattoo or whatever
your anarchist, not anarchy. That anarchy's no government. With a Satanist tattoo. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, but great weekend. I mean, some great comedy. I was so happy I got to see those shows. So yeah, I'm that was good.
Big time happy for you, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
Big time happy for you. Big time happy for you.
Big time.
I don't know why that is, but all right. There it is. I'm glad, because I totally forgot about that whole part. I'm glad you stopped us and got us going, because the David Tell thing he's good, dude. David Tell's good.
I realized that's the third time I've seen him.
You were saying you've seen him in person before.
The funniest time for sure. Wow. I mean, he was funny the other times, but man.
Well, you were looking forward to this because of how funny he's been in the past. In person.
And he was just incredible. And then it was funny. I was watching another podcast today, and they were talking about David Tell. Two comedians were talking about David Tell. In fact, it was Greg Fitzsimmons, and he had Zach Galifianakis on his podcast, and they were talking, and David Tell came up, and they were talking. I think Greg Fitzsimmons said something like, it's like every comedian I know has said David Tell is the best live comedy show you can ever see.
Yeah.
He was that much.
Zach Galifianakis. God, I haven't seen him in a while, but
I love Zach.
Old Galifianakis, dude. His, like, when he does like interviews people, like, some of those are some of the funniest things in the entire world.
Oh yeah, it's Between Two Ferns.
Is that what it's called? Yeah, that was what it was called. Between Two Ferns.
Funny or Die. Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's so good. He does one with Jennifer Lawrence. Is that the girl from To Kill a Mockingbird?
To Kill a Mockingbird?
Not To Kill a Mockingbird. She was the Mockingbird. What was that called? Hunger Games. Sorry.
Oh,
Jennifer.
I never saw
Hunger Games.
But yeah.
She's hilarious in that interview. If you get a chance to see Jennifer Lawrence, Zach Galifianakis interview, hilarious. She's amazing. It's obviously all written out.
I've seen them all.
He's so good.
Yeah, there are a lot of really good ones.
She's so mean to him. So good. So good.
The Ben Stiller one is really funny.
I've never seen the Ben Stiller one.
Oh,
I saw a little clip of it once, but I haven't seen it. That's good. I still have never seen the clown show that he did. I've never seen that. I heard that's really great too.
Every episode.
I heard that's awesome too.
It was funny. It was weird, but it was funny.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's weird. His comedy is weird. Everything about everything he does is weird. Like, it's hard to get. Like, there are people that aren't gonna get him.
Yeah.
You just have to understand that everything he's doing is awkward. I don't know. There's more to it than that.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
I think he used the word absurdist today, like talking about his old stand-up comedy, and that's probably pretty good. word for his comedy.
I'd be interested to see him, what his newest comedy would be like.
He's been
Does he
doing.
even do it? Does he even do stand up anymore?
He wasn't doing it at all during the pandemic. I think just in the last few months, 3 or 4 months, I think he started going back to LA because during the pandemic he moved to Canada with his family.
That's where he's
Um,
from.
He's
right?
from North Carolina
Oh,
originally.
I thought he was from Canada.
And then no, that's just every other person in comedy.
Well, yeah, that's the truth. You're either Jewish from New York or you're from Canada.
That's right. But yeah, I think he went back. He's going to up at like Largo and stuff. He's doing shows there. Because
Okay.
I've seen him. He did something with Rory Scovel recently, and I've seen pictures with him. He's done stuff with David Spade and stuff like that too. But anyway,
Nice.
so he's just getting back into it, which is exciting for me.
I love it. I absolutely love it. All right. Well, if I can not yawn because it's getting late, I apologize for that because I got started late because baseball today.
Happy you got the win.
Me too. Because in the beginning, I wasn't sure it was going to happen. Not a hitting night. I think I already said that.
Right.
That being said, Baby J, John Mulaney, Mount Rushmore of professional athlete names. We've got NBA playoffs. Maybe mix some baseball in. Until next week, don't forget to turn your headlights on.